All right, everybody, welcome to another deep dive. Today we are heading to the city that never sleeps.
New York City.
That's right, the one and only. And we're going to be exploring its most iconic landmarks.
That's right, we are. But we're not just going to scratch the surface. We're going to be going deeper. Yeah, a little deeper into their history, their significance, and even some of the controversies surrounding them.
Exactly. So if you think you know these landmarks, think again.
We're going to be digging up some interesting stuff.
We are. So let's start off with a place that I think everyone kind of pictures when they picture New York City. That's Times Square.
Yeah, Times Square, bright lights, billboards, that kind of energy of the city that never sleeps.
It's the crossroads of the world for a reason.
Right. And, today it's this global symbol of entertainment, right? Broadway, all the shows, the flashing lights. But it had a very, very different past. Did you know that in the early 20th century, Times Square was actually a hub for the automobile industry?
Wait a minute, really?
Yeah.
Cars in Times Square?
Yeah. I know it's kind of hard to believe with all the pedestrian traffic now, but it used to be called Longacre Square.
Longacre Square.
Yeah, and it was dominated by car dealerships and showrooms. It wasn't until the New York Times moved their headquarters there.
Oh, so that's where the name comes from.
Exactly, that it became Times Square and gradually transitioned into the Great White Way we know today.
That's incredible. I mean, talk about a transformation.
Yeah.
I mean, from like gritty car dealerships to like the glitz and glam of Broadway.
Quite the makeover. It's an example of how these landmarks, they evolve over time and their meaning shifts along with the city.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've had our dose of the bright lights and the bustling energy of Times Square. Now I'm kind of feeling like we need a little bit of peace and quiet. What do you say we head over to Central Park?
Sounds good to me. Yeah, Central Park, you think of that kind of escape the oasis in the middle of this metropolis.
Yeah, you think of like, leisurely strolls, bike rides, maybe a romantic carriage ride.
Right. A lot of peace and quiet, you would think. But it actually has a pretty turbulent past.
Oh, really? Yeah. In the 1850s, the creation of Central Park was this massive social engineering project. It actually involved displacing thousands of working class residents and really reshaping the city.
Wow. So not quite as peaceful as we might think of it today.
Yeah. It's kind of, a reminder that these idyllic spaces, they often come with their own baggage,
Yeah.
Like whose vision of peace and tranquility are we talking about?
Absolutely. Yeah, so Central Park, another reminder that things aren't always as they seem. It's full of these hidden stories.
And complex histories.
Okay. So from this kind of social upheaval to the serene escape that it is today, I think now we should trade in the lush greenery of Central Park for a little journey across the water. How about we hop on a ferry and set our sights on the Statue of Liberty?
Ah, Lady Liberty.
Yes.
A beacon of hope, a symbol of freedom and democracy.
Yeah, for many people around the world, it really is that welcoming symbol.
Right. Welcoming people from all over. But the story is a bit more complicated than that.
Oh, yeah. How so? Well, while the Statue of Liberty represents these grand ideals, the reality is that early immigrants arriving in New York, they often face a lot of discrimination hardship. And the Goldie Door wasn't always open to everyone.
Right. I mean, the idea of America being this welcoming place, it's a powerful narrative, but it's important to remember that for many, it didn't really match up with the reality they experienced.
Exactly. And so the Statue of Liberty, for some, it might have been a symbol of hope, but for others, it might have felt more like a reminder of broken promises.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It's a reminder that history is always more complex than we might initially think.
Multiple perspectives and multiple stories.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've seen grandeur, we've seen complexity. Now, how about something a little bit different? Let's wander off the beaten path. Let's head to Stone Street in the financial district.
Stone Street. Yeah, this is a hidden gem. You're in the middle of this financial hub, all these skyscrapers towering above you. But then you step onto Stone Street. Narrow cobblestone street. You kind of feel like you've traveled back in time. It's got these old buildings, charming restaurants.
Yeah, it's like a little slice of old New York tucked away in the midst of all this modernity.
Right. And you can almost picture, the clatter of horse-drawn carriages on the cobblestones, the gas lamps flickering.
Wow.
Yeah, it's an escape from that hustle and bustle of the modern city.
It sounds magical.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've explored on foot, we've taken a ferry. For our final stop, why don't we go up to the top of the Empire State Building?
The Empire State Building.
The king of the skyline.
The king of view like no other. You get up there and you're not just seeing the city, you're feeling it. You're seeing the energy, the ambition, the life that makes New York what it is.
Yeah, and to see that all laid out before you, with the twinkling lights stretching out as far as the eye can see. It's got to be just breathtaking.
It's awe-inspiring for sure.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into these New York City landmarks, I think it's clear that these places are so much more than just tourist attractions. They really are living, breathing pieces of history. They embody the spirit of the city, and they offer us a glimpse into its past, present, and future.
They tell stories. They remind us of the complexities of history. And I think that's the beauty of exploring these places, isn't it?
It is.
We get to uncover those layers of meaning.
Absolutely.
So I have a question for you, for our listeners.
Yeah.
If you could visit just one of these New York City landmarks, which one would you choose and why?
That is a great question. And on that note, we're going to leave you to ponder that. Until next time, happy exploring, everyone.
Keep digging.
See ya.